Monkey D. Luffy is the captain and strongest combatant of the Straw Hat Pirates. He fearlessly pursues the legendary treasure of the late Gold D. Roger in order to become the new Pirate King and reach a further untold dream currently known to only his crew and closest friends. He believes that being the Pirate King means having the most freedom in the world. Born on Dawn Island, Luffy is the son of revolutionary leader Monkey D. Dragon and grandson of the hero Monkey D. Garp, and as such, is a member of the clan of D. Most of his childhood was shaped by Garp and Dadan, under whose care he befriended and swore brotherhood to the late Portgas D. Ace and Sabo. However, he draws his greatest inspiration from the pirate Shanks, who unwittingly enabled him to eat the devil fruit that turned his body into rubber, sacrificed an arm to save his life, and gifted his signature straw hat as a symbol of their vow to reunite someday, after Luffy became a great pirate. Currently, Luffy has gained wide infamy through his actions, and he is also recognized as one of the 4 emperors, with a bounty of 3 billion berry. Luffy is able to use all 3 types of haki, even their advanced version, and can also combine them with his devil fruit powers to create new techniques. His devil fruit grants him a rubber-like body. His powers make him immune to electric attacks and most blunt forces, but he is susceptible to attacks made with a sharp object or weapon, for example, a sword or spear. His rubber devil fruit powers grant him the ability to stretch his body at will. He uses his elasticity to accelerate part or all of his body to deliver punches, kicks, headbutts, and many other varied attacks as seen throughout the series. Later in the series, he developed a new technique named Gear 2, which increases his strength and speed for a short time, but strains his body and can shorten his lifespan if used too long. Another technique, Gear 3, uses air in his bones to attack, but makes him shrink afterward. Luffy can use both techniques simultaneously. After the 2-year time skip, he gains better control of these techniques and is no longer affected by their drawbacks. Luffy develops another technique, Gear 4, inflating his muscles with air to increase the size of his body except for his legs, while his limbs are coated in armament haki. In contrast to Gears 2 and 3, Luffy uses compression rather than extension for his attacks, compressing and releasing his limbs to dish out devastating blows. The force of his kicks is to the extent that he uses them to fly in a similar fashion to CP9's Moonwalk Geppo technique. Later, it is revealed that the Gum Gum fruit's real name is the human fruit model Nika, a mythical zone-type devil fruit whose awakening grants Luffy's rubber-like body increased strength and freedom, including turning the environment and other living beings into rubber, which is limited only by the user's imagination. It is for this reason that the user is said to become a trickster sun god, Nika, known as the embodiment of freedom, able to bring joy to the people around them and making it the most ridiculous power in the world. His awakening is also called Gear 5. In this form, Luffy's hair and clothes also turn white. The world government renamed it to erase the fruit's original name from history and reclassified it as a paramecia in order to conceal its true nature. The fruit was originally a treasure sought by the world government for over 800 years until it was stolen by red-haired Shanks. According to the 5 elders, the fruit had not been awakened for centuries prior to Luffy's having done so. Throughout One Piece, the bounty placed on Luffy continually increases as he faces off against increasingly powerful pirates, representing his notoriety in the One Piece world. After defeating Buggy, Don Krieg, and Arlong of East Blue, Luffy's initial bounty is set to 30 million berry. By the major time skip in One Piece, this number had increased to 400 million berry after defeating some of the 7 warlords of the sea, rampaging at Enies Lobby, and retaking Nico Robin. In current arcs, Luffy's total bounty has increased to 3 billion berry after becoming one of the 4 emperors in the New World. Roronoa Zoro, also known as Pirate Hunter Zoro, is a main combatant of the Straw Hat Pirates and is recognized as the right-hand man of Luffy. Formerly a bounty hunter, he is the 2nd member of Luffy's crew and the first to join it during the East Blue arc. Born in Shimotsuki Village, East Blue, Zoro is the descendant of both the Shimotsuki family of Wano country and the legendary samurai Shimotsuki Ryuma. As a master of 3 sword style, a swordsmanship style which he created during his childhood training in Shimotsuki Village, later in the series, he developed a 9 sword style attack named Ashura, in which he gains 2 extra heads and 4 extra arms. It is still not explained who he does that, but it is speculated that it is connected to him tapping the powers of hell. As in the Wano Country arc, he also gained the title King of Hell. He is also a follower of the Bushido Code of Samurai Honor. He is proficient in armament and observation haki, and is one of the few known characters who possess Conqueror's haki. During his battle against King, Zoro unlocks an advanced form of Conqueror Haki, which allows him to coat his swords with it, similar to Armament Haki, which could further enhance his attacks. Although it hasn't been confirmed, Zoro is heavily linked with Conqueror Haki by the Beast Pirate Captain himself after the wound he gave to him. He also uses an advanced form of Armament Haki to shoot a short blast of Haki from a distance. However, Zoro cannot use Observation Haki that proficiently. Zoro is one of the 3 most powerful combatants of the Straw Hats, alongside Luffy and Sanji, who are referred to as the Monster Trio. His dream is to become the greatest swordsman in the world in order to honor a promise he made to his deceased childhood friend Kuina. He currently holds 3 of the legendary swords in the whole world: Wado Ichimonji, Sandai Kitetsu, and Enma. Zoro, along with Luffy, is included among the 11 rookies, pirates who simultaneously reached the Red Line with bounties of over 100 million berry shortly before the Summit War. He, the other 10 super rookies, and Marshal D. Teach would go on to be referred to as the Worst Generation. After fighting Daz Bones in Alabasta, Zoro's bounty is initially set at 60 million berry, but is later raised to 120 million berry after fighting the world government at Enies Lobby. Later, the crew was separated by Bartholomew Kuma, which resulted in pre- and post-time skips. Zoro encounters Mihawk again and trains under him for 2 years before reuniting with the crew. He receives a bounty of 320 million berry after cutting up an antagonist as large as a mountain and assisting Luffy at the end of Don Quixote do Flamingo's tyrannical rule. After the events in Wano Country and his contributions in the Onigashima raid, such as defeating King, he receives a bounty of 1,111 million berry. Cat burglar Nami is the navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates. She is the 3rd member of the crew and the 2nd to join during the Orangetown arc. She is the adoptive sister of Nojiko, after the 2 were orphaned and taken in by Belle-Mare. Nami was based on 2 of Ichiro Oda's earlier characters, Silk and Anne, from his one-shot manga romance Dawn. In these stories, Silk and Anne were parentless and had tragic pasts. Oda designed Nami as a human girl. At first, Oda wanted Nami to use a large axe, but he replaced it with a pole-based weapon. In an early concept of the Straw Hats, Nami was the only woman on the crew. She was formerly a member of the Arlong Pirates and initially joined the Straw Hats so that she could rob them in order to buy back her village from Arlong. However, she legitimately joined the Straw Hats after they rebelled against and defeated Arlong. Her dream is to make a map of the entire world. Being the assigned navigator of the Straw Hat Pirates, Nami is responsible for evaluating the direction that the ship goes as they sail further into the sea. Nami also tends to act as the crew's de facto treasurer, managing the crew's money and allocating money whenever they arrive at a new location. Nami is an accomplished and agile polearm user. Knowing she lacks the raw strength of most of her crew members, she uses her cunning and specially designed weapons to combat opponents who are her physical superiors. While she tries to avoid combat as much as possible, when the need arises, Nami gives her all in battle and has defeated some fearsome fighters. Despite being one of the weakest members of the crew, Nami nonetheless possesses a strong enough will to be able to withstand a burst of Big Mom's Conqueror's Haki, just like the rest of her crewmates. She has a companion called Zeus the Thundercloud, who is a homie that is fused with Nami's sorcery Climatact. Before merging with the Climatact, he was owned by Big Mom. Due to being made from a soul fragment from Big Mom herself, he is more powerful than most homies. She first gained a bounty of 16 million berry following the raid on Enies Lobby. It later increased to 66 million berry after the Dressrosa arc. Following the raid on Onigashima, her bounty was increased to 366 million berry. Usopp is the sniper of the Straw Hat Pirates. He is the 4th member of the crew and the 3rd to join, doing so at the end of the Syrup Village arc. Although he left the crew during the Water 7 arc, he rejoined at the end of the post-Enies Lobby arc. Usopp is the son of Yasopp and the late Banshina. He was born and raised in Syrup Village, serving as captain of the Usopp Pirates and being Kaya's close friend. After working with the Straw Hats to defeat Kuro and the Black Cat Pirates, he was invited to join the crew. Despite his usual cowardice, Usopp dreams of becoming a brave warrior of the sea, just like his father, and lives every day in pursuit of living up to this dream. Usopp is recognizable for his long nose, a reference to the fact that he tends to lie a lot, but most of his lies come true later in the series without him realizing it. Despite not excelling in physical fitness, he is a gifted inventor painter, and sculptor. In combat, he relies primarily on slingshots to fire various kinds of ammunition with great precision in coordination with a set of lies and other weapons, giving him a unique fighting style named the Usopp Arsenal. Usopp, like his father, has a unique aim with his slingshot. It is able to hit many people without missing once, even at distances at which he can barely see the target. To attack, Usopp uses a slingshot and shoots spherical projectiles, which he built and called stars. Each star has different effects. Some include explosives, smoke, fire, barbed, and even hot sauce. Following the visit of the Straw Hats to Skypiea, Usopp has added to his arsenal the shell-shaped dials, artifacts that can do things such as reflect attacks and emit fire, that he obtained there. After the 2-year time skip, Usopp uses a plant-based fighting style based on plants from the Boyne Archipelago, replacing most of the conventional ammunition he used to use with pop greens, seeds that can quickly grow into full-sized, dangerous plants. He also drew Luffy's Jolly Roger and created the Climatact for Nami. Additionally, when the Straw Hat crew was without a shipwright, Usopp was the one who repaired the Going Merry whenever it got damaged. Under his alter ego, Sniper King, a hero sniper wearing a golden mask and cape. Usopp declared war on the world government by shooting down the world government flag on Luffy's orders. He carries the title God Usopp, which he received in the Dressrosa arc from members of the Grand Fleet. Usopp awakened his observation haki during the latter half of the Dressrosa revolt, as he was able to see auras of Luffy, Law, and Sugar, who were in the royal palace, from the old King's Plateau near the Kurita Coliseum. With this, he was able to pinpoint Sugar's location and snipe her down from such a distance. He first gained a bounty of 30 million berry under his Sniper King persona after the incident at Enies Lobby. After the Dressrosa arc, Usopp gained a bounty of 200 million berry under his own name, and following the raid on Onigashima, his bounty was increased to 500 million berry. Blackleg Sanji, born as Vinsmoke Sanji, is the cook of the Straw Hat Pirates. He is the 5th member of the crew and the 4th to join, doing so at the end of the Bharati arc. Born as the 3rd son and 4th child of the Vinsmoke family, making him a former prince of the Germa Kingdom, he disowned his family twice, once in his youth and again after reuniting with them as an adult. After fleeing the Vinsmokes as a child, he eventually entered the care of Zeph as the sous chef of the Bharati, where he would remain until he met Monkey D. Luffy, who convinced him to join his crew. His dream is to find the rumored chef's paradise, all blue, which is where the East Blue, West Blue, North Blue, and South Blue meet, along with their wildlife. He is one of the top 3 fighters of the Straw Hats, alongside Luffy and Zoro, who are referred to as the Monster Trio. When fighting, Sanji only ever relies on kicks, never punching opponents because of his belief that a cook's hands are important instruments for their craft and thus must be protected from harm. Over the course of the series, Sanji utilizes attacks that are variations of kicks deemed black leg style, with the name of the attack usually having something to do with food, such as Diable Jambe, wherein he raises the temperatures of his legs so high that they glow bright red. During his time on Momoiro Island, Sanji learns a move named Skywalk, which allows him to jump to great heights and to be able to float mid-air by making sonic booms in the air behind him. Sanji is one of the few high-bounty individuals that has not consumed a devil fruit, rather having powers from the genetic modifications made by his fathers on him and his siblings. After Whole Cake Island, Sanji receives a raid suit gifted from Germa 66, the underground organization powering Germa Kingdom, which increases his physical capabilities and allows him to blend in with his environment. Though continued use of this suit awakened his inert genetic modifications, he ultimately accepted these modifications, giving him increased strength and speed, but chose to destroy the raid suit to cut his ties to his family permanently. He would later use his new abilities with armament haki to create Ifrit Jambi, a more powerful version of Diable Jambe that uses blue-white flames. During the time skip, he develops observation haki, which allows him to sense the intent and presence of others, such as when he was able to dodge a jelly bean bullet from Katakuri. He is also able to utilize armament haki, which allows him to harden parts of his body and be able to attack Logia users. He first gained a bounty of 77 million berry for his role in the raid on Enies Lobby. It increased to 177 million berry after the Dressrosa arc, but the condition of his bounty was changed to only alive due to his biological father's interference. After he escaped from Big Mom's territory, his bounty condition was reverted back to dead or alive with the Vinsmoke name despite his renouncing it, and its value increased to 330 million berry. Following the raid on Onigashima, his bounty was increased to 1,032 million berry. Tony Chopper, also known as Cotton Candy Lover Chopper, is the doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates. He is the 6th member of the crew and the 5th to join at the end of the Drum Island arc. Rejected by his herd because of his blue nose and eating the devil fruit, Chopper is rescued by Drum Island's quack doctor, Dr. Hiraluk. While developing a potion to create cherry blossoms when in contact with snow, Chopper is heartbroken when Hiraluk falls ill with a deadly disease. To return his favor, Chopper tried to make a medicine for his disease, and he accidentally used a poisonous mushroom that killed Hiraluk. After Hiraluk's death, Dr. Kureha takes him in as his mentor. After the Straw Hats arrive at Drum Island and take Chopper with them, Kureha uses Hiraluk's potion to turn the snowy sky into cherry blossoms, fulfilling Hiraluk's life mission. Chopper acts flustered and sometimes yells at the person who complimented him to stop trying to make him happy. A running gag within the series is when other characters mistake him as a tanuki, and he angrily corrects them, pointing out that he is a Tonakai Japanese for reindeer. Chopper aims to travel all across the world in the hopes of accomplishing his dream of being able to cure any disease. Typically, it is rare for doctors to fulfill roles other than medical practices for the benefit of those around them. But as the Straw Hat Pirates' doctor, Chopper's responsibilities are not limited to just medicine alone. He occasionally performed tasks like steering the ship as their unofficial helmsman while on the Going Merry, and during the heat of battle, he could also fulfill the role of a physical fighter to support his friends. However, due in part to his lack of battle experience or formal training, as well as his Rumble Ball's time-limited effect, Chopper was originally considered part of the Weakling Trio, along with Nami and Usopp. This lay largely in his lack of battle intuition and naivety at the time, though it is shown that he has gotten much more capable after his 2 years of training in the Torino Kingdom. In spite of his usual fearful behavior, Chopper is shown to have a strong will as he withstood a burst of Conqueror's haki from Big Mom. Chopper has a high power of analysis and deduction and can think about how to deal with situations in smart ways. Because he is originally an animal, Chopper can understand and communicate with other animals, thus allowing him to serve as a translator between animals and humans. This was first seen when Chopper translated Karoo's speech on how he ended up frozen in the icy waters of Drum Island next to the Going Merry. Chopper gained his first bounty of 50 berry after the incident at Eni's lobby, having been mistaken for the Straw Hat's pet. After the Dressrosa arc, it was increased to 100 berry, then to 1,000 berry following the raid on Onigashima. Nico Robin, also known by her epithet Devil Child, is the archaeologist of the Straw Hat Pirates. She is the 7th member of the crew and the 6th to join, doing so at the end of the Arabasta arc. She temporarily left the crew during the Water 7 arc, but rejoined during the Enisys Lobby arc. Born into a family of archaeologists, Robin is the daughter of Nico Alvia. Robin ate the flower fruit at a young age, giving her the power to reproduce her body parts or her entire body on any surface at will. As the sole survivor of the destroyed West Blue Island of Ohara, she is currently the only human in the world known to have the ability to read and decipher poneglyphs, a skill that is considered forbidden and threatening to the world government. She served and partnered herself with the ex-warlord Crocodile, who operated under the codename Mr. Zero. She was a secondary antagonist of the Arabasta saga before joining the Straw Hats. Her dream is to find the Rio Poneglyph, which tells the true history of the world, specifically the Void Century. Due to her having to spend her life on the run from multiple organizations, mostly the Marines and the world government, Robin had developed into a strong and resourceful woman. After 2 years of training with the Revolutionary Army, Robin has grown stronger in every way. Sanji, one of the strongest members of the Straw Hat Pirates, was willing to call for Robin's help when he was trapped by Black Maria, despite knowing she was the Beast Pirate's target and that Tobirapo laid out traps for her, showing he has complete confidence in Robin's abilities. His faith was proven to be well placed when Robin defeated Black Maria. It is revealed that Robin taught herself most of these skills through research in the Library of Ohara, which she had done without the aid of her senior colleagues. This shows great aptitude for academics and research. Her ability to read poneglyphs is so valuable that even the then Emperor, Charlotte Linlin, insisted on capturing Robin alive for that reason. In her travels, Robin has learned the location of two of the ancient weapons, Pluton and Poseidon. She gained a bounty of 79 million berry at the age of 8 due to her ability to read poneglyphs after the destruction of Ohara. It later increased to 80 million berry after the Straw Hats invaded Enies lobby to rescue her and escape. After the Dressrosa arc, it increased to 130 million berry. Following the raid on Onigashima, her bounty was increased to 930 million berry. Iron Man. Franky is the shipwright of the Straw Hat Pirates, who joined at the end of the post-Enies lobby arc. Born Cutty Flam, he chose to go by his nickname of Franky until eventually permanently discarding his true name per the request of Iceberg to hide his identity. Originally from South Blue, Franky was the son of pirate parents who abandoned him at age 9, eventually making his way to Water 7. He is taken in as an apprentice by shipwright Tom, who built Pirate King Gol D. Rogers' ship, the Oro Jackson, and also secretly holds the plans for a devastating ancient weapon. Franky's recklessness eventually provides an opportunity for world government agents seeking these plans. Attempting to rescue his master, Franky suffers severe injuries and only survives by rebuilding parts of his body using pieces of scrap metal, turning himself into a cola-powered cyborg with strength. After gaining notoriety as Cyborg Franky, he became the leader of the Franky family, a group of ship dismantlers and bounty hunters. Franky and his followers were originally enemies of the Straw Hats at the beginning of the Water 7 arc, until circumstances forced them to become allies at the end of the same arc and the Enies lobby arc. To fulfill his dream of sailing a ship he built around the world, he constructs the Thousand Sunny, a brigantine-rigged sloop of war, for the Straw Hat Pirates and joins the crew. As the shipwright of the Straw Hat Pirates, Franky is an extremely valuable asset for the crew, since he maintains the Thousand Sunny's condition, along with the other vehicles, instruments, or weapons the Straw Hats may employ. He is also an accomplished surgeon, as he was able to operate on himself twice, even though Franky does not specialize in the field, an especially notable feat, as Franky was close to death when he did so the first time. In terms of combat ability, Franky is one of the most dangerous Straw Hats, a feat acknowledged by the world government. By combining his immense physical prowess with his advanced bionic enhancements, Franky took down two CP9 agents, Nero and Fukuro, the latter a master of Rokushiki. After studying on Karakuri Island in the old research lab of Dr. Vegapunk for 2 years, his knowledge about technology and science in general increased immensely. He gained a bounty of 44 million berry for his involvement in the Enies lobby incident. It later increased to 94 million berry after the Dressrosa arc. Following the raid on Onigashima, his bounty was increased to 394 million berry. Soul King Brook is the musician of the Straw Hat Pirates and one of their 2 swordsmen. He is the 9th member of the crew and the 8th to join, doing so at the end of the Thriller Bark arc. He is an excellent musician who says that he can play any instrument, although he is usually seen playing the violin. Brook can even influence people with his music to the point of making them fall asleep. While separated from the other Straw Hats and incognito as Soul King Brook, he gains world fame, filling concert halls with fans. He is also a skilled fencer who uses a shikomizue, a Japanese cane sword, in battle. Originally a member of the Rumbar Pirates, he died while drifting alone in the Florian Triangle for 50 years and was resurrected through the power of the Revive fruit, which gave him the ability to return to life after death once. However, due to the amount of time it took for his soul to find his body, it was reduced to a skeleton, keeping only his afro intact. Eventually meeting Luffy and serving as the Straw Hats' ally during the Thriller Bark arc before officially joining the crew. His dream is to reunite with his old friend Laboon, an island whale that resides at the Reverse Mountain with Crocus, who is one of the Roger Pirates and takes care of Laboon, and play Bink's sake one more time alongside Laboon in memory of his old crew and the time they all shared with Laboon. As much as Brook normally goofs around on the ship, engaging in acts of silliness with Luffy, he is still a formidable opponent. Due to his previous experiences and skills that he amassed from the days when the Pirate King Gol D. Roger was still active, Brook, in all respects, is a veteran pirate, though these attributes are somewhat downplayed by his overall demeanor, along with the fact that his isolation in the Florian Triangle seemed to have affected his knowledge of modern society. Brook is a talented swordsman, has extraordinary speed due to his light frame. He can run across water without sinking, and is astonishingly difficult to harm because of his undead state. Even before his first death, Brook was a capable fighter, having once served as the leader of a battle convoy before turning to piracy. Now in his undead state, Brook's skeletal body allows him to perform a wide variety of acts that would be impossible or fatal for a normal human to do. As long as his body remains solid and intact, he will live, and he can easily repair any bone damage simply by consuming milk. He can even survive having his head detached from his body, continuing to talk, smell, and see while it is detached. However, he is still capable of feeling pain. Due to his lack of flesh, Brook is resistant to lightning strikes and high and low temperatures. Brook doesn't age, as his body only consists of bones, and he continues to grow stronger despite being 90 years old. He is capable of storing objects inside his skull, such as a tone dial and poneglyph rubbings. Other than bringing him back from the dead, Brook's fruit initially seemed useless. However, he later discovered that he could exercise the power of his strengthened soul, which he discovered is what allows him to animate his body. He can make his returned soul temporarily separate from his body so that it can move independently of his body, effectively making him a ghost. This leaves his body a lifeless husk, but as a spirit, Brook is capable of moving through walls and going to areas that would be impossible for him to physically reach, though he cannot grab hold of anything. His soul energy exudes pure coldness, called the chills of the underworld, and allows Brook to transfer this freezing aura to objects, like his sword. With this aura, he is capable of freezing his surroundings, as seen when he turned the ground around him on Zoo into ice. He also has a strong will, as he was able to withstand a burst of Big Mom's Conqueror's haki when he tried and succeeded to steal a copy of Big Mom's Road Poneglyph. He first gained a bounty of 33 million berry during his time as a member of the Rumbar Pirates. It later increased to 83 million berry after the Dressrosa arc. Following the raid on Onigashima, his bounty was increased to 383 million berry. First son of the sea, Jinbe is the helmsman of the Straw Hat Pirate. He is the 10th member of the crew and the 9th to join, doing so during the Wano Country arc. Jinbe is a whale shark fisherman and a powerful master of fishman karate. His dream is to fulfill his former captain Fisher Tiger's dying wish of coexistence and equality between humans and fishmen. He was a member of the Sun Pirates, eventually becoming its second captain after the death of their original Captain Tiger. He eventually became one of the 7 warlords of the sea, though he resigned during the Summit War of Marineford. Vegapunk later cloned Jinbe as one of the Seraphim S-Shark to replace the warlords. Prior to and amidst the Marineford War, Jinbe befriended Monkey D. Luffy, and 2 years later, one allied with him and his crew to prevent the New Fishman Pirates' coup d'etat against the Ryugu Kingdom's Neptune royal family. Luffy thereafter invited him to join the Straw Hat Pirates, but Jinbe held it off until severing ties with Big Mom during the Whole Cake Island arc. After staying behind in Totoland to protect the Sun Pirates from Big Mom's wrath, Jinbe returned to the Straw Hats during the Wano Country arc, officially announcing his status as a member of the crew. He first gained a bounty of 76 million berry due to him being a member of the Sun Pirates. It was later increased to 250 million berry after Jinbe became the new captain of the Sun Pirates before it was frozen after he joined the 7 warlords. Upon resigning his position as a warlord at the Summit War of Marineford, his bounty was reinstated at 438 million berry. Following the raid on Onigashima, his bounty was increased to 1,100,000,000 berry.